We're having, let me see that. We're having, not ready. 7 for the beginner and 14 for the open.
That's not a bad number, actually.
15
So we have
for the open. 7 rounds. So for the beginner, I guess we're gonna be short, but for the open should be fine.
yeah, that sounds pretty interesting right now. And I can see some of the names in the open set that there are some new names, right? And there are some old names, of course. And I can see the guy who is on number 3 right there, Mr. Railgun. He's also actually one of our Hpot teacher, and he's been looking forward to win the tournament very desperately this time, I guess.
Yes, but there's a lot of competitors. I'm thinking of number 4 as well, Hpot Alexander, which is also a teacher of Hpot. I think he's going to be looking for up, but they are not even ranked top seed and second seed. We have Luis 2403 who joined the previous tournaments, and a new joiner.
That he was one of my tournament when sorry, he was one of my opponent back 2 months ago when I was playing in the Alliance Française for the first open, right?
Right, serious
He's not
contender.
bad actually. He's a very good player actually. I have to admit. And yeah, and as you mentioned, we have a new player too, which is on number 1, Alekine 31, naming after the 4th world champion.
Or is he the 4th world champion? Why would you assume he's not the real one? Right?
Yeah, right. We're gonna find about that soon.
Yes, that should really be.
And you know, and one cool thing about Alekine is that his full name was Alexander Alekine, right? So in this tournament we have both Alexandre and we have both Alekine.
Yes, Hpot Alexander Alekine, the resurrection of Alekine. That's right. Um, okay, so just for a small reminder before we start, so these tournaments are going to be in 5 minutes plus 5-second time control. It's a bit fast, but it allows you to not fall on time if you're being in a Zainat, if you're short on time. The beginner is for the kids mainly, under 14 years old. But also, if you're under 14 but you're good at chess, it's better if you actually enter the open. So it's really for beginners under 14 years old, and the open is for really everyone. If you feel like fighting the big guys, then that's where you go.
And before we go further to look at the challenger, Sebastian, I think we need to switch the screen in the screen so
Sure.
we can
Okay, let's do it. Oh, looks like looks like
in the OBS. I mean,
yeah. I switch it in OBS, but it looks like there's a small issue with your source. I'm sorry. I'm gonna change it right now. I am. We haven't done that too often, right? So
not really.
So apologies. Oh, okay. I see what I should do. I gotta go right there, here, and then I gotta change the layout. I think more option.
I think you have to change the theme.
Change the theme. Wait, let me see. I'm gonna patch this up quickly because I think we're okay here. And then what am I gonna do here? I'm gonna change the layout again and put you in spotlight. Is this good now? We see you.
It should be good now.
We see you. Do you still see the games or not, Paul?
No, oh, I see the games, but I don't see myself.
Okay. Is that fine if you see the games?
Yes, but I mean the viewers, the observers are not seeing my face.
Oh, they will see it because now you're in a. Check it again. I think there's a small delay.
Oh yeah, right, right. All good now, all good now.
All good. Right on time. That was everything was planned. Okay.
We have about 30 seconds to go.
Let's.
Jump real quick into the beginners group, Seb,
Yes.
and let's take a look about who are we having here.
All right. Let's check it out. Beginner. So we have Rai 2020, Shimi Hpot, Ritz the Blitz, who has been taking the top 3 every single time. third on the previous one.
third pillar, right?
Yes, and regular top three. AC in BKK, who had some time in the open because she qualified, back to the beginner to get the title. And it started. Let's start with, ooh,
So
the brother against the sister.
okay, so where you want to take me through, Seb?
All
We
right,
can
so
actually stick onto this game since we are already watching it, right? We 2020 and right.
yes, right.
2020 against SAC EKK. But right now at the moment it seems like black is not here. So someone have to set the alarm and wake her up.
Uh-oh, AC in BKK. You gotta wake up.
Okay, good luck with that. You've got 20 seconds.
And she did. Okay, nice.
Countdown start. There you go.
A bit of backstory on this game, Paul. Rai 2020 and AC in BKK are actually brother and sister. And it's really, a very emotional moment when they face each other. So this game has more, tension than just what's happening on the board.
So it's not just only the brother and sister fight, but it's an honor fight. Let's put it that way.
Yes, and we have a Danish Gambit played by Rai 2020.
And I can see that black is having a big thinking right now. Oh, sorry, it's white actually to have a thinking. Whether to sacrifice the second pawn by going for bishop c4, or just recapturing the pawn right away with knight takes c3. Yeah, so it's a matter now. Ooh, now look at that. That white has sacrificed two pawns and going for a very quick attack right here. He's gonna put the bishop on c4 next, and he's gonna go for quick castles. Don't forget that white has sacrificed two pawns, but the big side, the big plus on his side is that he has two pieces into the game already, while black has only one. And white is about to bring the third piece into the game. So his attack is going to be very dangerous. Black has to be careful about that. I think in order to survive the game with best players on both sides, I think black has to return one for one.
That's true. Actually, I'm the one who recommend this opening to the Hpot student, whether it's a good or a bad idea. But I think Bishop C4 should have come earlier. I don't know if it matters too much, but yeah, a bit of risk taken here by Black, who gives away the defense on the G7 pawn. That could be a factor later in this game.
Yeah, well, seems like the bishop is on c4 sooner or later, but as you mentioned that you could have played bishop c4 earlier on. Now this gives blacks a little bit extra opportunity to buy some tempo with bishop b4 check. But white is still the first one to get castles right here. I think the queen might has to go to b3 later on. Maybe it's a little bit too late right now. If
Uh,
black
uh,
gets herself to castle, then she's gonna be pretty fine.
may I say an opportunity was lost here before the knight went out. Before this move, sorry, there was instead of castling, there was a free pawn and rook, if I may.
Oh yeah, right. That's a free gift.
Yeah, but it's too late.
And it's going all the way to the rook if white collects that one. Okay, but now it's a little bit too late right now. And Sebastian, since right now we are still looking at the beginners group, I think there is one interesting game going on with Ritz the Blitz right now. As you can see that
Let me open it.
white has already snapped up. Yeah, sure.
Ooh.
Right there, and you can see that in the previous game that white misses his opportunity in capturing the pawn on g7, right? This game, however, with the blitz, he didn't miss his chances, and he snapped the pawn on b7 instead. And the same idea applies that he has taken all the way to the rook right there. So I think white is simply one rook up.
That's correct. If I may give a little advice regarding this kind of tactics, is especially when you know you're playing an opening that is very tactical and gambiting pawns, giving away pawns for development, you got to be watching out. Referring to the previous game, you got to be watching out for this kind of move because these are your chances that you need to grasp to get an early win. If you miss it, then the point of making this kind of openings is a bit lost in the as the game goes on. If you miss these opportunities,
Right.
but
Say, like right now, I see another tactic, Seb, is white maybe
Correct, an absolute pin right there. Black is running into a bit of trouble here. If I may add a word about the player himself, Timur Kirby, he just started chess. He's 6 years old, so for him it's already a great feat, to be going that far against such a strong and fierce opponent as Ritz de Blitz. So a pretty good performance overall up till now, even with the rook down.
Yeah, right. And I can agree with you that being only 6 years old and he can survive into this position all the way to move 18, 19. And it's showing a very clear sign to me that he's quite doing pretty well in the opening stage. He knows what to do. He's not moving the pieces aimlessly. He's not moving the same pieces twice, and so on. So he's following the opening principles, and that's already quite an impressive achievement for a 6-year-old boy.
I agree. It's not that easy.
The result is that's right, but unfortunately the result is not going into his way right now as he's losing all the pieces one by one. But as I say, it's not a bad start for him.
That's true. I hope he's gonna get, let's say, easier opponents for the next rounds because he truly deserves a few wins. Yeah,
And I think he can do it.
I think so too.
Root for him on that one.
I think so too.
Okay, let's jump on to the open section, shall we? I think
Sure.
we have quite a lot of actions going on over there. We have a few victories already,
Oof.
especially from the favorites. Ali Khan 31 has won his game. Louis 2403 has already won his game as well.
Wow.
Right now, the biggest seed guy that still has his game ongoing is actually Mr. Relkan. And take a look at that. He is playing against Rafa, another student from Hpot, right?
Yes. Afare is absolutely amazing. I think we say it. We cannot say it enough. Tactically, he's just absolutely incredible. He solves puzzle faster than me, and well, not that it's a great feat to solve faster than me, but I'm not 6 years old anymore, so that's a small thing that I got over him. But yeah, he's just incredible. He lacks a little bit of strategy. Sometimes when there's no tactical move, he can wander around a bit with his pieces, but an absolute unique student for his age.
Right.
So as we can see here, there's a dangerous rook attacking the queen right there. The bishop is yeah. There's no tactic right now, I guess. There might be a fork right there.
That's right. So white is always looking for a fork with knight a6, as you mentioned. But if I'm black right here, I will be thinking of maybe knight to I don't know, somewhere h3 or e2 check. And for example, if knight e2 check,
Sorry.
then
Sorry.
if knight e2 check right here, and then we're kind of praying a little bit. Please capture my knight. So if you capture my knight right here, then it's my bishop's turn to be ha ha ha. Here it comes, the discovery, and that is what the tactic that we've been talking about, Seth. How to make the discovery attack work. That can be one way of doing the queen. But of course there are some ways to save the game, though. Of course. Oh, knight e2 happened, really happened. So okay, but I think the best move right here is the king has to step aside to the corner in order to avoid the bishop move with a check, but that is gonna drop upon him.
Oh.
Fell for it, he went right away for it. So black is going to win the queen, but I guess he drops the rook on b8 in return.
Yeah, and let's not forget about this fork right here. It's probably bad for white, everything that's happening, but wait, yeah, but there's gonna be some material, I guess.
It's gonna be a queen against the rook.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the bishop's fate over there. If white can find a way to arrest that guy,
Yeah.
maybe not. Okay, everything is happening in the game right now, as what we have talked earlier on.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Ooh, look at that. I like that queen e5 move. He says, I don't care about the rook. You can go ahead and grab my rook, but I'm gonna swing the queen over to h5 to the far left side of the board, and I am going to discover the bishop later on the next move, and I will mate you. I don't care about the material anymore. That's what Mr. Railgun says. I have only 34 seconds left, so I have to do something fast against the king.
Assuming, okay, you went for your plan. How would you checkmate here?
Bishop g3.
Bishop g3, okay, and then what would you do on king g1?
That's right. And then mate e1. Where is it?
Oh yeah, yeah, queen here. Yeah, I've seen it, of course. But did he just miss it here?
I think he played queen e5.
Oh, oh yeah, sorry, I went back in. I was like, why would he put his queen back right there?
Yeah, right. Well, maybe he's giving some hopes, right? You want to play a little bit of swinging around with me.
You don't want to give Rafa hope. I'm telling you, he's already fierce enough. If you can, finish the game, you want to finish it.
Yeah, right. And of course, Mr. Railgun is professional enough. And of course, the same thing happens. The bishop can still go to anywhere, and it's still going to be like checkmate, I believe. Well, not really, because the king can run away to f1, but you have to retreat your rook one more time. Or yeah, that one. That would do the job too. As you're already painting the arrows on the chessboard. That's a nice artwork, by the way.
Thank you. But it's the Olympic just started, so now the king is going for a little marathon here. He's gonna go continue probably on this side of, well, that's a checkmate, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and there you go. That's the first mate on board we ever seen on the live stream today.
That's true.
We still have one more game left in the open, however. That is the game by another Hpot student against the former. I think he still is, right?
He still is, yeah.
No, former number one of the Hpot students. I think right now
Oh,
he's down to number two.
yes, in the leaderboard. Well, it depends on what you're talking about, but yeah, it's definitely up there.
On the leaderboard.
Yeah,
So right now he's at number two, right? But he was number one.
that's true. That's true.
That's
Wow, I'm impressed how well you know all these things day by day, because it just happened,
you do. And
Yeah.
look at Alexander right there. He's going for a little bit nasty f7
Ooh.
reinforcement right there. I think he's gonna grab the pawn. The king will be forced to step over, and I don't know. Alex might be trying to bring another rook to double on the seventh rank. Well, seven heaven is what we call.
Seven heaven? Oh, I didn't know that. I'll borrow that from you. Seven heaven.
Rooks on the seventh rank is the same feeling like you're going up to the heaven.
Nice. But he did not listen to us though. He went for grabbing more pawns. But it's fine.
Right, and now he's challenging the rook, saying, "Hey, I don't mind to exchange the rook. I am one rook and one knight up, and plus one more pawn too. So any kind of changes will going to favor him." And now you see that all of the black pawn is going to be reversing.
Can I take a second, Paul, and mention that I'm always surprised. I know it depends on the situation, but I'm always surprised when someone is done material and accepting trades. Because if there's one last chance you can have of ever win or draw game, is by keeping as much material as possible when you're down material. So my advice for you listeners, if you just started chess, one very important thing, in general, if you're up material, you want to simplify the position. But if you're down material, you want to keep your soldier alive so that you stay dangerous. If you have nothing on the board, you're completely inoffensive.
I totally agree, because when you are down in material, one of the few ways that you can keep your own chances alive is to create problems to your opponents. And by one way in making opponents is by keeping the pieces, so the pieces can mess up around with your opponents, and it's making more chances for your opponent to go wrong. By the way, the round one in the open has finished, but in the beginners group, round two has already started, and we have a lot of actions already over there in the beginners group. Do you want to take a look over there? Oh yeah, you are already.
Sorry, yeah, I already went ahead and go there. We read each other's minds. I went to read the blitz and she met me. Yeah.
Yeah, right. We're all good. I think we had a little bit of action earlier on. If you go back to move number 14 in this game, actually, you see that, yeah, right, after white notice over there that the black queen is on g6, right? Is eyeing all the way down along the g file to the white king, right at the white king.
That's true.
So that having said, the pawn on g2 is not defended, cannot move left or right anymore. So that is the action. What happened in that game is that bishop takes h3, and boom, there you go. And apart from that,
Oops, sorry.
you can take mate on d2. Ooh, I think there's a mate on board.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
got mixed up a bit.
Okay, so that was all about what we're talking about here. And the mate happened in the end. Congratulations to Mr. Bliss. Wow, this is a strong attacker, by the way.
Yeah.
Is he a happy pawn student also?
No, Ritz the Blitz is a regular of these tournaments, but he's learning by himself, which is very impressive to score that well by himself. But he truly loves chess. He's around, I think, 12 years old, so a bit more age maybe, for example, than Shimi Hpot, but nonetheless an excellent competitor.
Yeah, I can see by the way he plays. He's playing very aggressive, and he can see quite a lot of tactics over there. So yeah, I can feel it. He is indeed someone. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So now what are we having right here? Rai 2020 against Tommy Riss.
Oof.
Something must have happened over there. Someone must have moved.
Oof.
That's going to be the piece that you're going to cry the most.
You know, I'm very impressed because Rai is an excellent student. He's very strong, and super smart, very dedicated. And Tommy Rees again has started recently, and she looks like she's winning right now, and she's probably gonna go ahead and win or at worst draw this game, right? And I'm very impressed because it's her second tournament, and Rai is already a very experienced player. Props to him, but I'm sure she did a great game, you know?
Right. I was just laughing earlier on because I was looking at the chat right now, and Rai 2020 was writing, no, I didn't see that. I'm gonna resign.
Ah, yes.
That was funny. Oh no. Okay. I feel you, boy. I feel you.
Well, I would say one thing again. Don't lose heart for the young listeners. Don't lose heart when you're losing. I know it's crushing to lose games, and it doesn't feel good, but you know that's where you learn the most, and it's gonna happen in anything you do anyway, right? It's not just in chess. There's gonna be time where you don't always win. So it's good to get used to this feeling at times, and be able to deal with it correctly. So yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, I think he's on his way resigning, but he cannot afford to resign. But he is going to leave his timer all the way down to 0.
He did play a couple moves, but I think he lost his heart a bit here. He's not. Yeah,
Right. He's already looking forward for the next game, right?
I think so too.
No problem with that. Let's jump to some other interesting games, shall we? Well, actually, this is the final game of the beginning.
That's true.
But in the open, we still had a lot of interesting things going on.
Let's go to Aryaman, a regular of these tournaments, versus Hpot Alexander.
Right. And by the way, Sebastian, I think we have a small technical issue saying that people cannot hear my voice.
Oh no! Let me fix this. That is terrible. Cannot hear like at all.
Close to like that. It's very soft.
No. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so we had this issue before. I just need to get things a bit. Okay, you can comment the game. I'll deal with that.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure how I can talk when you will not listen to me, but
I'm going to increase.
my best. So right now you are at. Okay. So right now we are at Hpot Alexander, who is playing black right here against Aryaman 190. So what are we having here? Looks like black is 1 knight up. Okay. Yeah, black is 1 knight up for how many pawns? f1 pawn is under fire. So black has to do something with that. There are several ways to defend over there. You can, yeah, dropping the queen back to c7 is one. I'm even thinking about the fancy castle queen side defending with the brave king over there, but that's probably something that I won't gonna advise you to do it at home. So okay, so White's biggest question right now that he might have to answer is where is he gonna put his king? And he has answered our question over there by castle king side, but that is giving away one more bishop over there, and looks like um, well, black is right now 2 pieces up. He's having a better king. I don't think that black is going to be interested in castling on the king side anymore. He's going to keep the rook over there on h8, so he can launch into attack later on over there.
That's right. Sorry for the audio thing. I increased a bit your volume. I'm gonna be speaking a bit less loud because I must be very loud. Let's see with that. Let me know if you get some more feedback that things are not perfect. Thank you very much for.
Don't worry about that. I am a lousy guy by then anyway. So
Use it.
okay, but anyways, for the viewers, please leave a comment back so we can know that if this issue has been resolved or not. Right? So yeah, okay, and so we were just talking about Alex's position right here, and he's 2 pieces up, and he's have a safer king. He is going to go for the attack right there. I'm even thinking about castle queenside right there and double the rook on the edge file.
That's a possibility. I think there's probably a lot of options for black, right? I mean, even the bishop, the white square around the white king, the queen could be coming up very quickly, doubling on the edge file as you mentioned. A lot of option out there.
That's right.
He's even giving away the bishop.
Take a look at right, and take a look at the Alex right there. He is giving back his bishop. So and why say no, I'm not gonna take that. I don't want my king to be left alone over there. So
In my opinion, when you're 2 pieces down, you got to take the sacrifice, right? I mean, if you have a shot at coming back, either get mated or get some material back. But probably there was a checkmate already calculated by Hpot Alexander. Maybe.
yeah, I trust in this guy too.
Probably.
Especially when I'm in the commentary seat and I'm not gonna think things too much right here.
Right.
Okay. By the way, I think my audio issue is not yet solved.
Ah.
It is still very soft. Sorry to say that.
Let me see. I think we are gonna have this issue because I increased the volume, but now I'm super loud. I think it should be better for you. Let me increase it even more, but I'm gonna have to whisper. I think next time we need to figure this out together. Let me see. Sync offset. No. Okay, I'm just gonna try that. Could you speak now?
Okay. How is it right now? Ooh. Wow. A lot of action is going on, and looks like white is getting mated shortly.
Yes, correct. And that's a checkmate. Victory from Hpot Alexander.
There you go.
Okay, so we have the leaderboard right there.
Wow, look at that. The guy on number 1 and number 2 are still at full points. Alexander and Alekine.
Alexander Alekine, that's right.
That's right. They are at full points right now. So they don't disappoint the former world champion indeed.
That is true. Hopefully it will continue.
They're playing in the spirit. Yeah, they're playing in the spirit of Alexander Alekine too. Actually.
A lot of attacks, right?
Aggressiveness.
Yeah, aggressive.
That's right.
That's nice.
All right, so you are at Louis' game right now. Well, he is 1 rook up, right?
Yeah.
And many pawns ahead. So I think it's going to be an easy win for him too.
That's true. I guess we could switch to a more even balanced game at the moment. Let me see. Maybe this one?
Yeah, this one looks interesting again, especially with Mr. Relgan's time. He is really keeping his tradition right there with 10 final seconds, always staying alive with the increment. Okay, so how many pawns white is up here?
2, I would say.
Pawns.
2 pawns, and I see 2 on the right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are doing better math than me. So yeah, 2 pawns indeed. And he is having a great position. But how to find plan for white here? I've been thinking of trying to get b4 and b5 work. So
Oh.
trying to create pass pawn on that side. And right now he's on. Ooh, looks like he has to use his b-pawn,
Wait.
taking the rook.
Yeah.
There he goes. Yeah, all right. Well, but that's not a bad material loss, by the way. And he's still one bishop up. Oh, okay. He's simplifying everything right there. So it's going to be the rook and bishop against the queen. But in the open area like this, I think the rook and the bishop can do a better job. I don't know.
That's true. That's true. The one thing you want to watch out with the queen is it can really jump everywhere, fork a lot of things. So if you can guard your pieces at most of the time, that would probably be a safe option, and you know you wouldn't have to worry about the queen, because after all it's just one person, the queen, right?
That's right. When the only thing the queen can do to you is against your own weaknesses. So if your position doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, like right here, I've been thinking about like, okay, you have to deal with the pawn on e2 somehow. But then queen h3, and there might be some problems against the pawn on h2. But I think I'm gonna, yeah, like what he did. I'm gonna give up one pawn right there and make the whole position solid. Like, okay, you can see Mr. Rogan here is not even interested in capturing the pawn on g7, but he's hunting for the pawn on c6, because after the c6 pawn is gone, then his own pawns will become pass pawns, and that is what he cares right now. I think that's going to be a better move.
I see. And
By the way, we can go back very, very shortly to Louis' game right here. I think he is having fun with all the major pieces on the board. Well, I think the only thing White is hoping for is for stalemate, but ooh, look at that checkmate.
I mean, Louis is ranked 2100. I don't think stalemate is part of his dictionary, you know. He doesn't probably know what it is, so yeah.
What a way to finish the game.
That's right. Let's check it out. FRA versus Gisefer. Gisefer being my own dad. So I hope he's going to win this tournament for the honor of my family. This is very, very important. If he does not, I guarantee you there will be consequences. That's it. That's all I got to say.
I feel sorry for playing King F2 on the second move against your dad 3 months ago.
King F2 on the second.
That's my first confession. But yeah, F3 and King F2.
No.
That were the first 2 moves against him.
No.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
But okay. But I think in this game he is doing very fine here. He is several pawns up.
Yeah.
2 to be exact, and that pass pawn on e6 seems like to be a very healthy pawn. I've been looking at rook e3 as what he played and supporting his own pawn push over there. I think he's sending his pawn b, and that's gonna be it, right?
Yeah, I don't think black has much to do here. I think black should have come here to try and stop it. I think white should just go for it, right? No need for these fancy games here. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
Well, I guess you want to trap the rook, but there's this.
But looks like your dad is going for another plan. He wants to play some kind of a king of the hill.
Right. But let me send him a message that it's not king of the hill, just to be clear.
It's a normal game.
Yeah.
That's right. And I can see that in the
Oops, sorry.
beginners group, however, they have started round 3.
Let's go there. Let's go to the beginner. All right. Oh, 8 people. Somebody just entered the tournament on the top. Okay.
Maybe it's Mr. Mendy R.
That's correct.
Right,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so what are we having here? So looks like you are looking at Luan's game.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you. If you have a game that you wanna watch, I would go with this one. Kate Lung, Bangkok versus Mendy R. So we have a plus 24 for Mendy R. Definitely leading this game.
Zero-wise.
Yeah. but the challenge will be to actually perform the checkmate, right?
Yeah, right. Well, I think checkmate is going to be on the next move right now. The oh the yeah the king has to drop back or on the c3. That's going to delay the move. But if the king drops back, then the queen goes to a3, swinging all the way to the end of the other side of the board, and I think that's going to be the end of the game.
So actually, queen takes.
Why he's a fighter here?
Yes, until the end.
Right. Black says, nah, you can put anything in the way as many as you want. I'm just gonna grab everything.
Yeah, at this point, that's gonna be a bit hard. Maybe let's switch to another game. But
or you want to wait to see the checkmate?
Actually, I do.
It's always fun to see checkmate.
Oh, it's always sad to see your student not checkmating. No,
Oh,
that's a stalemate.
But at least now you will have one more topic to add on your lecture to your school next time.
Believe me, I've been over this topic a lot of times. All right, checkmate.
Okay, so seems like practicing rook roller.
Thank you, Mendy R.
Right, that's right. Okay, right. Let's jump to another game, by the way. And I think the one that is
Tell me.
okay. There's actually only one game left.
Okay.
That group,
Uh,
the beginner's group is the Right 2020.
right.
Wait, you have ICPKK too.
Yeah, no. It's just it wasn't.
It's like the Wonder Game.
Yeah. It wasn't updated. Okay, so we have a.
Okay, so Right 2020.
Yeah, correct.
Wow.
So it looks like he's winning.
If this is like the Black Knight alone is fighting against the whole world.
By the way, Paul, I would like to tell you that the previous game of Rai Rai, where he was getting a bit, bullied, he actually managed to do a stalemate. Tomiris,
Oh yes.
yes,
Oh yes, right.
impressive, right?
That was an amazing draw.
Yeah.
That's right. I wonder how that happened. Oh, I think it ended in a retrospect.
Wow.
With the king in the middle of the board, we can bring that game up for a second if you want.
Yeah.
But if it's gonna be too much work, then
No.
fine.
Let me do it here.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah, and you can see real quick at the end over there. I think around move 28 or something. And yeah, we can see over there that the king is dancing in the middle of the board back and forth, and to his luck, I would say that way. The position repeats itself for the third
oh
time.
my
Therefore-
God.
Yeah, and therefore the services.
I'm always worried about this when I play games and I'm winning, that the position was actually there, but like a few moves before, and it's like you get draw and you didn't even know that it would end in a draw, But
Yeah, right.
but usually, I mean, that's easily avoidable if you just go for trying to corner the king, and But props to Tomiris. Honestly, I know it's not easy, especially since you see she's able to beat like experienced player on the board. But then there are rules that you cannot just get over in one lesson or two lessons, right? So obviously here she might have, forget or not learn this specific rule, and it ended up, unfortunately for her, in a draw, but still a great result against a strong player such as Rai Rai.
Definitely, and I can feel the students too, because you know what? If we talk about the tactic, one of my biggest weakness is actually the mating net. so hunting the king is one of the things that I am the most terrible at. And
You're okay. You're okay. But it is a
I think round 4 has started in beginners.
yes. Let's get to it.
Right.
Let's watch the top seed.
Round 4 has started in the beginners. We can go to real quick in some of the games because round 3 in the open has started too. But okay, right here, Rai Rai against Risk the Bliss. They are heading for some kind of a G3-ish.
Can I-
Shadow.
Can I tell you what is Rai Rai doing right now? He calls it the King's Indian. So this is his King Indian with white. I do not recommend it, but it's his thing. So at times he comes back to it.
I can tell you it's playable and it's quite pretty about it played. We call it the King's Indian attack setup. That's right. Thank you for mentioning me this up. I was having a hard time trying to think what kind of setup this is, and until you mentioned the name, and now I figure out that it's actually the same kind of mirror from the King's Indian as black, but this time he's going as white. So this is the King's Indian attack. That's what we call it. And
I
it's
see.
quite a flexible setup. It can be used against almost every kind of e4 replies by black. And black is exploding up in the center right now, d5, saying, hey, I have more space. My pieces are more active by this already. Let's challenge the center and see if we can fight there.
Ritz the Blitz is truly a good chess player, truly. I think he has a lot of understanding in many chess areas. It's not just tactical, we can see here it's also like strategic, right? And he's a really, really tough opponent to face. Let's see if Rai Rai has the resources to, with his favorite opening, the King's Indian attack, to challenge him and you know, get a good result.
Well, I think white here has several of good options. The first thing is just to ignore everything in the center and just try to finish the development with bishop g2 and castles and so on. And yeah, and if black ever exchanges, then that's gonna transpose into some kind of King's Indian exchange lines. So that's pretty fine for him too. And if black pushes the pawn with d4,
Sorry.
grabbing more space over there, then that's some kind of the classical King's Indian Petrosian variation with the colors reversed. But if that's the case, then I think black would prefer to have his c pawn to be on c5 instead of c7 right there to
Sorry.
support the center, to have
Oops.
grip in the center. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm having some mouse problem. Yes, c5 to fortify, solidify the center, right?
That's right, but now when Rai Rai decided to develop the bishop on another square to e2, and guess what? Black says, "Hey, you're not gonna get your castle soon. Good luck with that." I think he might have to play something like knight g5, as you mentioned there, to asking the bishop to go away. Yeah, and after that you might gonna get some castles, but definitely that white bishop on e2, that one really belongs on g2. Especially when the center opens up over there, the bishop on g2 is going to have a very, very good scope over there and looking all the way along the long diagonal.
I think the lesson here, Paul, is that again, for if you're wondering how to go with the opening and which opening to choose and everything, you gotta know what are your plans and main ideas when you do an opening, because it's nice to know the name and the first couple moves, but once things change or are not the way you're used to, you gotta know what is the idea of your opening, and clearly putting the bishop here is a central idea of the King's attack, right, or King's Indian.
That's right. Well, one of the tips that my coach used to tell me is that just talk to your pieces. Just ask every of your pieces where you want to be, which square you'll be the happiest at, and then if you talk to the bishop on e2 over there, hey, are you happy over there? I think he's gonna say, no, I need a better place, please.
I gotta say, Paul, I love this. I've been teaching for more than 10 years. I love the talk to your pieces thing, and piece answering you back where they wish they are. I love it. I'll steal that from you too. Excellent. Yes. So.
Okay. But by the way, let's not look at this game for too long, because in the open we have quite an interesting action, especially a big clash between two boards. By the way, the first one is Alekhine versus Alekhine. That looks like a pretty balanced game, by the way, with white already having one pawn up. So if you ask me who's gonna win, then I think only white can press for the win here. But black, on the other hand, is having the file, and he's having a nice diagonal for the bishop, because he's always keeping an eye on the knight over there. So white has a price to pay for that one pawn. But another interesting game, however, is the game of Luis versus Mr. Railgun. If you can see over there, then looks like black's king is still stuck in the middle of the board, and the center has opened up a little bit already. Both sides have their own weaknesses over there. White has a weakness with the pawn on the c3, but Black's weaknesses is his king. How is he going to get himself to castle? I think, yeah, queen c6 may be one of the moves that Black is thinking right now, but they don't really want to play that move because now, after the queen trades, your newly c pawn is going to be as weak as White's c3 pawn, and but if not, then knight d7, like that's what it happens in the game. But then it's going to be more difficult for him to get himself into castles because whenever he castles, the knight on d7 is going to have castle inside in your meeting. Wow, I like that idea. Yeah, right. That can be one way too.
But it's a bit risky. It's a bit risky as the c file is quite open.
It is very risky. I think White can grab some initiative right now. Like for example, knight e5 or bishop f4. I don't know which one is better. Maybe bishop f4 is better. Because if knight e5 right now, Black might be able to defend himself with bishop d6 and cover everything up along the pin over there. But none of these happen. He chose for the bishop b2.
I find this a bit passive, isn't it?
Yes, I think this is a bit too slow. I get his idea though, by the way. I think he wants to get his pawn to c4 somehow, maybe pushing on the next move, in order to open up the line for the bishop over there and make his castle a little bit more difficult. That is more into the strategic plan. But as you mentioned, Seb, that castle on the queen's side is very interesting.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Castling on the queen side. There we go. Here.
Yeah, castle on the queen's side is very interesting over there, and I don't see any immediate attack coming at him, especially with the bishop already being misplaced on b2. The bishop wants to, in this case, he maybe wants to be at f4 or e3 to keep some eye on the queen side, and plus the bishop on b2 is not doing a good job blocking the b file. So whenever the rook is at b1, I think the bishop will be asked to, hey, you're in my way, can you step aside, please?
That's correct.
That's what the rook is going to tell the bishop. Okay, but Mr. Railgun is thinking right now, he is under 40 seconds. He has to take some decision very fast right here. Where will he put his king? To the left or to the right? He has to think right now, and he has to think fast because the center is exploding, the game is getting sharp, and that's not a good news for 20 seconds left on the clock. He went bishop e7. I think he's going to go for the kingside castle. But as I said, I think knight e5 idea right now is very interesting. The idea is, of course, if the knight cannot capture because he's pinned. But if black queen captures the knight on e5, then white queen will counter capture on d7 with a check, and the black king will lose his right to castle. So that is one of the big problems that black might have to solve. But don't forget, we've been keep on mentioning about 20 seconds left on the clock. He's gonna do something really fast.
Let me be the devil's advocate for a second. I was watching the World Cup of chess, which is happening, by the way, right now, and they were talking about Alexander Grichuk, right, who has the same habit as Mr. Railgun, which is to put himself in difficult time control very few times, and that's where the adrenaline kicks in and where he supposedly played the best, and he's been proving that it was kind of a true thing that was happening with him. He's excellent when he has not much time because he's got to think faster. So maybe Mr. Railgun is in the same kind of mindset.
There's one funny interview about Grichuk, by the way, that he said that he did it on purpose in making himself into time trouble, because apart from making his adrenaline ongoing, as he mentioned, that was the he said something like he was not a guy that is good at concentrating. So by forcing himself into a tough situation that he had to think for all of the time in order to save his own life, that was the only moment that he can force himself to concentrate. That was why he allowed himself to do that. Having said of that, his background, however, he is a very good Blitz player. He won the World Blitz Champion once, so that's why he can allow himself to do that.
I mean, it's got to be wrong to some extent that he cannot focus, right? I mean, we're talking about a super top grandmaster. He must be exaggerating a little bit, right? I guess he's right to some extent, but he's very good.
Yeah, well, one thing in chess that you have to keep in mind though is that whatever works to you, just keep on doing that way, and whatever works to you, it might not gonna work for the others.
That's true. Back to the game. Did Mr. Railgun was able to just grab a piece and get away with it? Is that what's happening
I think
here?
he did. Yeah, I think he did. I think he got away with a6 b5, unpinning himself over there, and I think he's out of the danger right now. He's gonna move his knight somewhere, or not. Maybe bishop f6 to defend it.
Oh, bishop
He
f6.
went back to d7, tried to hunt the b6 pawn.
Looks like Black is doing great right now. He got out of the trouble, right?
That's right. And okay, he's gonna return the g7 pawn. That's not a problem. He might gonna find a place for his king. Maybe pushing the f pawn and put it on f7 later on. But he's one piece up after all for one pawn. And that a pawn, white's extra pawn over there on the far left, I can tell you is a million miles away from the queen's turn.
At least a million miles away. But yeah, for sure it's pretty far. Sorry, wrong manipulation again. For sure it's not ready to get there.
No, it's not going there any soon. You can see king d7 and rook a8 can be one of the next two moves that I'm thinking of. Okay, or that one can do too. Rook g4 and rook a4 is the same idea, or something like that. There are many ways to stop that a pawn, and I think Mr. Railgun is going to bring a full point home over there.
I think so too.
Let's take a look at another game right here between Rafa's dad, Senatan, versus VKR123. So
Yes.
yeah, that one is also getting. The black queen knocks the door right here. Knock knock, here I come. And where is the white king gonna go? Wow. I mean, if you count only the pieces, not the pawns, it's partly balanced. But ooh, that's a big sacrifice on the rook.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It would have been a great move if it's not a bishop captures the rook over there. But right now, I think black is really struggling to find a draw right here. Will he get a potential?
No,
The
because
king
of the
runs
queen.
to the h1. The white
Because
queen
of
is
the-
guarding nicely.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm not. Oh, okay. Okay. There you go. One more chance for repetition. But the white king might goes to h1 in the end, and.
Oh, going for the checkmate.
Wow, wow. He's still going for the hunt here, but who's gonna get checkmated first? Is white
Oof.
7 right
Yeah.
here. Ooh, this. Wow, they are trading fists right here, Sam. This is really fun to watch. Queen g8 maybe coming.
I think Black is dead.
Yeah, I think black is gonna be the one to knock out first right here.
Check here. Checkmate.
7. There you go. That's checkmate e1. Wow, what a game! What a game! It's so nice here.
A game to run on the computer later.
That's right. Okay, and round 4 is going on.
Let's get back to the
Right now.
let's get back to the beginners tournament and see how.
Sure, I agree. I agree. And on the beginners tournament, they are at round 5 right now. They're at round 5. And which game is the most interesting?
Leading, well, there is a clash for the title here between Asin Bekeke and Ritz the Blitz. I think she's the only last one that can maybe knock him out of the first place. Let's see if how is it going in the game itself.
Well, seems like she is 1 point behind Risk the Bliss in terms of the tournament standing, right?
That's
Risk the
true.
Bliss is still on perfect score with 4 out of 4. AC in BKK, however, is 1 point behind. So she has to win this game if she wants to compete for the first place right here. And you know you're a student. I think Risk the Bliss, and he's going for Bishop H6. That's right. And okay, now how will she defend against that queen? There are three ways I see. Queen f6 is one, queen f8 is another. Okay, she went for a more passive defense with queen f8. I would have gone for queen f6 myself, but at least she didn't choose the worst option, which is pawn to g6.
Queen
That
F.
one is
Yeah, pawn
looking at your opponent's
pawn to g6 was weakening indeed the black square. I like your queen f6 because not only it defends, but it also, tell this bishop get out of here, right? And here,
right.
yeah,
But with queen on f8 right there, the bishop can relax for a while on h6, tying your queen down. Don't move away anywhere. But the rook
ooh,
is coming to e6. That is her plan. Maybe the rook is swinging to g6, and she is trying to say who's attacking who.
it's an excellent move. We call that a rook lift, right? So not only,
Right.
as you mentioned, it's going to knock out this bishop out of the square, but she's probably going to follow up with a defensive slash offensive move. Not only attacking the queen, attacking the pawn behind in front of the king. That's actually a very. I did not consider that. That's a very interesting counterattack.
That's not a bad move, by the way, I can tell you. And there you go, rook g6 happens on the board, and then black is telling white, saying, hey, you had your fun, now is my turn.
That's right. How could they follow up though? The
Yeah,
queen
rook
comes
f7,
back.
rook f8, and I think maybe rook f8 next, and the pawn will goes to f5, and that's how you explode the whole king side up.
Wow.
Now with the bishop already on b6 over there, that is going to make his f2 pawn a little bit a difficult life. Like for example, if the knight is on g3, right now white is lucky to have the queen on f3 defending the knight, but if the queen is going away somewhere, black can just simply play rook takes g3, takes the knight.
That's right.
Okay, so it's not happening right now, but it's something that you always have to keep an eye on. You always have to be mindful of.
May I say I'm not a big fan of this move, bishop here. I think rather better would have been the knight, or either your plan, right, rook f8 and then followed by f5, or the knight over there, because here the knight would be occupying, like, controlling some very interesting square, attacking the queen is just a side effect of this, but threatening some dangerous stuff around the white king. Sorry, again, a wrong manipulation.
Totally agree with you, Sam, that the knight should be on d4. Centralizing the knight is always nice, and the knight on d4 is guarding against knight to f5 as well, like what happened in the game right here, that black is paying attention on trying to catch that rook, but white says, I don't care, let me hit your queen first.
I think.
And, ooh, look at that, white is ignoring his even further by h4. The main threat right now is h5 and trying to get the rook back.
I think white even had a hanging piece here. I mean, black, because look at this. If knight capture bishop, then what do you play with? Oh, you do knight take knight.
Yep.
Then on queen. You do knight take knight. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, my bad.
Okay, no problem with that.
Wait, what?
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I think AC BKK wants
Oh, sorry.
to queen e6 instead of to e7, right? But it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to just put the queen on e7 and then telling white, hey, it's your meal. Make a pick whether you want to eat with my knight, with your knight, or with your bishop, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense in that way.
that seems unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a case of mouse slip.
Yeah.
Very sadly.
Well, winning by mouse sleep or correct skill or time, it doesn't matter. A win is a win, and if you get mouse sleep problem, I would recommend getting a good mouse, because the mouse sleep mostly happen. It could be a joke, but it's actually very real, because how many times did I see people playing with the trackpad having a mouse sleep, and you gotta fix it. You gotta fix it every time. So.
You are saying the same thing with Grandmaster Maurice Ashley when he was asked what you do with the mouse slip, and the first answer he said was, good luck with that. and then the co-host was like, that's it? Don't you have better advice? And he said his second answer was, go get a better mouse.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? It doesn't look very chessy, right, for advice, but it's nonetheless true. It happens so often. Like, lower the chance of it happening, right?
Yeah,
I confirm. She called the mouse sleep. So again, it just happens, and you get over it and get a better mouse, and good job anyway. That was a very good game by AC in BKK.
that's right. Bliss, the lucky boy, got away with 5 out of 5 right now, and he's 1.5 point ahead of the field. So
That's a wrap.
his path to the champion is going great this time. Has he ever won the beginners group before?
Last time, yes. I think Ritz the Blitz would do a good for himself to go in the Open next time. Not only because he seems to be, in a good shape, like a bit too good for the beginner, but also because it will challenge him a little bit more to face stronger opponents.
I agree. If you can win the beginners group twice in a row, then you deserve to be in the Open.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go get yourself a bigger challenge over there.
That's right.
And that's the way for yourself to grow up and push yourself.
That's right.
Right. So I can see you are still looking at some beginners group over there. Okay, so we have some.
Checkmate.
Oh, okay. Checkmate.
That's a checkmate.
Why are we always in time to see?
Yes. Good timing.
Wow, just imagine that black is a bunch of pawns up, but his king is very poorly placed over there. Even if you go back by one move, despite of saying that, I think there is no way to save the game.
Oh, wow. Well,
because you're forced to lose the rook, or either you're gonna get checkmated.
That's true. You're right.
Surprisingly enough, the rook on h8 has no good place to go to protect his king at all.
I would disagree though. Then your king is in a good position. Maybe you can hide behind your pawn and try to push it because this king is a bit away, right?
Okay, you're trying to send that pawn home and make a negotiation against the white rook, right?
Would that work though?
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. That's gonna require some calculation.
Right. I guess we can just move on to.
I think it might work, but at the end, then I think white is gonna have time to collect some let's say f7 points.
Right.
F7 or a7 points.
Right. At worst, draw for white. At best, a victory. Right.
Yeah, I think so. That's
Right. Okay.
Okay, so one more game left in the beginners right here, and we
Oh.
see that happened
Uh-oh.
against Timor.
Timor giving away a bishop here.
Yeah, right. And, but he's still one knight up, right?
He's one knight up. That's true.
He's giving away the knight again. He says, "Yeah, I'm so rich in material. I have all the material in the world. You go grab whatever you want. I'm just gonna send that pawn home." Wow, looks like they are playing anti-show.
Yes, kind of. I think what happens, Paul, in this kind of times is that they have one plan in their hand, and for example, Timur right now wants to promote this pawn. That's all he had. Well, he just changed plan, but
right. And same to white. He has one plan as well. He just wants to send that d pawn to promote. I think rook d8 is forced now. Otherwise, white would play rook c8.
oh, they play too fast. Oh,
Who's gonna queen first?
yeah.
Oh. Both queen at the same time, but black keeps the first check, and I think it's gonna be an endless check right here. Unless, oh no, where's the other check?
They play too fast. See, right here.
Oh my God.
Right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right there on e5. But
Or even this, right? You'd give away a
yeah,
pawn.
b4. That's not a bad check.
Ooh!
Ooh, more anti-shares going on. Okay, more giveaway shares and okay. You know what? I wouldn't mind to invest a little bit of time to see the end of this game.
Oh.
Because,
There was a skewer here.
yeah, there's a pin over there. That's right. Rook b6 pin.
I mean,
with the queen.
White should have still won the game, but it can go either way at this point, honestly.
Yeah, I don't dare to put my money on any side.
Yeah.
Here. So okay. Black says he's at a pawn. I'm still fighting over there. Okay. And white is.
Oh.
Oh.
And the rook goes down.
I think there will be no turnaround.
Yeah, that's true. I would like to give a couple of advice here. Number one, in critical situation, you do not want to play too fast. Let's look at, for example, Shimi Hpot. He has more time than what he started with, and
Minutes. Wow,
yeah,
he's gonna make the world record.
exactly, and that's not a world record you necessarily want to have, right? And the thing is, yeah, in critical situation, take your time. And the second thing I would like to say is, a good plan, a bad plan is better than no plan. So in this regard, both of them are doing great by having an idea in mind. But a good plan is better than a bad plan. So working on those plans is also a factor that might increase the winning rate, right, of a player.
Right, and I may want to add on the third advice too is to pay attention to what your opponent is doing.
That's true.
That is one way. It's like this game is a very good example of showing that both mind their own businesses. I want to queen my pawn, you want to queen your pawn. Go ahead, let's make a race who's gonna be faster. But in chess, there are many ways to stop the other side's pawn, and it won't gonna hurt you to waste a move or two in stopping that if your plan can still ongoing.
That's true. That is true. That is very true. I have nothing else to add.
Okay,
I mean,
right, and now the next question that we are taking a look at is that do you think White will be able to give checkmate with the king and queen?
well, we've drilled it a lot, but it's something that needs to be reminded every once in a while. It looks like White is struggling a little bit. I believe it's still possible it's going to happen, but the chances of stalemate are big. At least not as long as that pawn over there is alive.
Right, and, well, now there's a checkmate in one, by the way.
Yeah, but will he go for it? I'm worried about queen f2, pawn push, pawn take pawn.
That takes a pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, all right. He's in there, right? He's getting himself.
I think so. Okay, he did.
Okay, there you go. Ooh, you are.
I'm happy.
You are more stressed than the players.
Yes, that's true.
All right, round 6 is coming up. This is the penultimate round in the beginners group. They are playing very fast right here, while in the open right now they are still at round number 4, I believe. That's right, they're still at round number 4. So, I think it's not going to be a question here that the beginners group is going to finish before.
That's true. Not only they're gonna have less rounds, maybe I'm not even sure, but for sure they're playing much faster, and that says a lot about when you play slower, you play better. It's not the only factor, of course, but playing slowly allows you to find the right moves and eliminate the wrong moves. So, young listeners out there, you want to get better at chess? Here is the golden advice: slow down.
That's right. In this tournament, you have 5 minutes at the starting time after all, and you gain 5 seconds back on every single move that you make. So just make sure that at least you spend 5 seconds on each of the moves before you make it, and you will never gonna get flagged. And that's gonna help you a lot.
It is a bad sign if you end up with more time than what you started with, especially if you lost that game. It means that really you haven't been putting enough at least thinking into your moves.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so let's jump back into the open for a while, by the way, and we see here Alekhine against Louis. Is the black player from Alliance Francaise?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't put my all my life on it, but yeah, Louis 2403 appeared at the Alliance Francaise partnership for the tournament.
Right. And that was the first time I spotted his name. So, okay, but in this position, however, is not really going into his way. He's having a bishop and he's fighting for the rook with the same number of pawns and a slight more passive king. And by the way, if you move the bishop away, then White can play c5 and give a checkmate that way.
Whoa!
That is something you don't want to see.
That is cool.
If you want to honor your opponent, then you can go ahead.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that's right. Mating with the pawn in the center of the board.
You know what I'm wondering, Paul? I'm wondering if White is not looking for a moment to trade this rook for the bishop and have a sure win with the king. Maybe not now, but it's something that you got to keep in mind, the trade for victory, right? Even if you're losing in material, as you mentioned, the white king might be more active than the black king. If you can see that you can get in, like for example here, right, probably king here, and then at some point you're going to be ready to just jump ahead, right? You might not, but you might.
Plan at all. Yeah, that's not a bad plan at all. But as you mentioned, right, after some preparation, when White feels he's ready, right? For example, like right here, he still has something else to do, like bringing the rook to g8 and swing all the way to queen side to collect some pawns over there. That is one way, but
I mean, there was a Zugzwang here, right? Like black had literally no move but to give away this pawn. That's pretty cool, right?
that's the first pawn to go away, and after that, I think the whole queen side is gonna collapse.
Yeah, the pawns are on white squares. This is a black bishop. These pawns are dead. Like that's for sure.
There you go.
Oh, sorry.
The king is making himself like a snake, and he's gonna pick up all of the black pawns over there.
There's so much going on.
He's threatening checkmate too, and ooh, he's captured the pawn, still threatening checkmate. Not quite, but okay. And here you go. I somehow have a feeling that these two kings are playing hide and seek.
That's true. Can we find it doesn't exist, right? The rampant bishop, where you give away your bishop to finish in a stalemate, because you cannot be harassing the king forever, right, with a bishop. But that would.
Well, if you remove all the pawns off the board, then it's possible, because the king is running into the right corner as well.
That is true. I think black still has no. I was about to say has some hope.
Well,
Nope.
but we say this is a half.
Yes.
You get the point. Go ahead, you can say. Alright, and that's the final game of the open section, by the way. Round 5 is starting out. And ooh, look at that. Alec Khan is playing with Mr. Railgun. And guess what? Mr. Railgun is well known as to be the streak cutter, right? And Alec Khan right now is the only guy on full points is on the streak right now. So let's see if Mr. Railgun can take the point away from Mr. Streak.
I think I might be wrong, but I think Alekine is from the same family as RVK, and I'm yet to find any of those two guys lose a game. I've never seen. Of course, it's a joke because I haven't seen them play like for years, right? It's just been entering the online tournaments, but they are really up there when it comes to their play. I like to think that the only game I play against them, I scared a bit RVK. There were some upper moment for me, but it's a family thing probably. Chess and them.
You are right that Alekine is coming from the same family as RVK, and the position we're seeing on the board right here, the opening name is the closed Catalan. There are two versions of the Catalan, the open and the closed, but with black playing the pawn to c6 on the 6th move, that commits the game into the closed Catalan. If it's the open Catalan on the 6th move, he has to go for d takes c4. So the main idea right here for black is to slowly get his pieces out, especially the bishop on c8. While white's idea is to expand to the center like that, e4 and more praise, the knight will go to f6 to bounce back. And if possible, the black would try to get c5 work somehow. So his bishop on c8 will have some more air. Maybe either by bishop b7 to c6 or by b6 and bishop b7. But you always have to be mindful of the bishop on g2, because the knight on f3 might gonna discover himself all the way to the so black is a little bit passive here, but on the other hand he is solid. And this is the strategy play from both sides right here.
Yes, okay, thank you very much for this opening explanation. That is not my strength, so I'm glad to have you here today to explain this kind of things.
Bad news for you, there are no more gambit for you yet, so otherwise that's going to be your turn that I'm going to ask you.
I guess. Okay, let's not jump ahead and say that I'm the gambit specialist. I'm not too good at openings in general, but yeah, I like gambits. Anyway, so interesting game. I think Mr. Railgun is the last one who can eventually pass Alekhine 31 in the rankings, though he does have a defeat right now. But yeah,
he does have a good position right now too.
That's true.
So that's a good news for him.
That's true. We are in the same case as earlier in the beginner with AC in BKK and Reach the Blades, right?
That's right. Well, the move I'm looking at right now is playing pawn to c5. This looks weird. This looks crazy because we're surrendering the d5 square for the black knight, right? But the black knight on f6 is not doing that badly anyway. So with the black knight on f6 or d5, it's not making much difference in terms of the quality of the knight itself. But by playing pawn to c5 is really bringing the bishop in c8 down. And that's a bigger factor over there.
You know, that's interesting. I would never play c5 out of ignorance, of course, because I would be like, you know, as you mentioned, the square here, the weak pawn here. But you're right, this bishop will be dead if c5 is being played. c5, sorry.
That's right.
I did not consider that. Interesting.
But the reason that most of the time c5 is not available because black can undermine with pawn to b6 and a5 and so on, and the rook on a1 in the end will technically be angry. But c5 right here, right now, is hitting the bishop on d6 with a tempo. So that's why he has time to do it. But Mr. Rogan is, I think he's going the same idea, but he's preparing a little bit by a3 b4 and maybe not making much trying not to make weak pieces first. But as you can see, that black can place a5 right there to stop black from playing b4.
But you think they slightly misread the plan as they go for the plan that you just mentioned, but you think this would be possible right away, right? Because of the tempo on the bishop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he will have time to play b4 and a3 later on. So and by the way, this is the idea I know that Mr. Rogan has in mind because the c5 idea is the idea that I introduced to myself.
I see.
I think around December during the Thailand team tournament.
Wow, nice. The personal insight on the player and the games.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice. Okay, should we switch to another game? Mr. Rogan is gonna be waiting 2 minutes and 35 seconds right now anyway, so.
He's gonna start making the move when he's in red one.
Yes, under 3 seconds, I think.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm looking at the game against Zenatan against La Shim-ju right now.
Let me open it. Yeah.
Still. Yeah, because that one seems to be the game that is nearest from over. I mean, it's the closest to over. So, because almost all pieces have left the board, and seems like Zenatan here is having a very good position with the pass pawn over there. How do you stop it, by the way?
You don't?
Not me, right?
Yes, you don't. Maybe. No, but it's too late. It is too late. You don't stop it.
Yeah, right. And also not to mention that black is one rook down at the moment.
That's tough.
Looks like it's gonna be game over very soon.
Yeah. I guess a big blunder by white of failing to see this 3-pass pawn moving forward and playing passive, but I don't think Zenatane is gonna let that happen. He plays very well, and yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Win one more rook over there, right?
Yeah.
There you go. And then, all right. So the only trick that black can hope for is to capture the rook on a1 with a back rank checkmate. That's gonna happen. A7 is coming, or f7.
That would be a nice twist, right?
Yeah.
King here, then queen here.
Oh yeah, and anywhere is checkmate. That's right. You're finding a better mate than I do.
Let's.
Wow. Okay.
I mean,
he's gonna use 3 pass pawns against 2 major pieces.
I mean, honestly, between you and me, Paul, I would have kept the hope alive if I was black. Just get checkmated, but just get that hope where maybe you must sleep or something. And just
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
Okay, but now it's checkmate.
Yes, it is.
Right, so, okay. Do you want to stick on with the open games, or do you want to jump?
Let's do a last one. Let's do a last
Let's
open.
do one more, right? Okay. So.
Erebe versus Mauricio Esbedo. We haven't seen any of them since the start.
Yeah, right. pawn started from the d4 opening and transposes into some kind of Benoni structure. Yep, I was right. It started from the King's Indian, by the way, but then after c5, d5, e5, the structure has transposed into some kind of closed Benoni. And yeah, and well, this is going to be a slow game, and I can tell you that this game is going to take forever. Okay, but one thing worth mentioning in these kind of structure that whenever you see a closed positions, in my meaning is that when the center is closed, the pawns are fixed like that. The pawns cannot move at all. For both sides, there will always be one good bishop and one bad bishop. And this is actually a part that I wrote in my article for the next Hpot magazine as well. Like for instance, right here, you can see that there are white pawns on c4 and d5. So they are on the light squares. So that means it's going to limit down the bishop's freedom a lot on d3.
Yes.
On the same color, he cannot jump over the pawn and get some freedom on the queen side. So that is considered to be a very bad bishop. Well, not very bad right now because he has some diagonals on the right side. But compared to the one on g3 right there, he's not blocked by any of the pawns, but he's limited down by black's pawn right there. So this one, the bishop on d3 is considered to be a bad bishop, while the one on g3 is considered to be a good bishop. And the same can be said for black. I think in black's case it's even clearer.
Can I guess? Let's see if I understood your lesson correctly. The bad bishop would be the black squared one because our pawn are on the black squares, and the good bishop would be the white square one. Yes.
Bravo.
Thank you, teacher.
That's right. And let's take a look at there. I think black is running into a fork right now. White is running into a fork right now. F5 is coming, hitting the knight, and when the knight moves, then there is e4.
E4. Oh, I haven't seen that.
So that's why knight takes d6 is happening on the board, because he realizes that he's going to lose a piece. So let's lose it in honor. But
it's kind of a desperado sacrifice, right? But that wasn't working even, right? I mean, you could still... no, maybe not. Maybe just capture.
Well, I think capturing the knight is the correct approach right
What?
now. White has lost a piece for 2 pawns. Okay, at least it's something. But right now the rook on f8 is coming. Okay, d5 pawn is a pass pawn, but he has no supporter over there. The queen has to retreat, and I think black is going to take over the file. And maybe on a good day, if the queen moves away, I think the pawn can even move to e4 and opening up the bishop on g7 to get a better life.
Sorry, on e4 here.
No, I mean e4 by black.
Oh,
If the black queen moves away, so
I see. To avoid, to avoid that. Okay,
avoid that nasty queen,
right.
So yeah, so e4 can be coming, and the bishop on g7.
To give a life to this.
Yeah, good life.
I see.
So I guess it's not enough for the 2 pawns, but I think that's the best you can do from that position after you're running into the four. Okay, I like what White's doing here, by the way, playing f4 here. Good or not, I don't know, but it's complicating the matters, and that's what you should do when you are worse in a position.
That's right.
Complicating the matters is making problems to your opponent. So even though if White is going down, he's not going down without a fight.
That's right. And I see here that black is playing very sharply, even though he plays fast. As one could think that capturing the bishop will discover on the queen, but actually the knight would just go ahead and capture, or the queen would go ahead and capture the bishop.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
really sharp play.
Right. One thing about the bishop on g3 is, he's always saying eyes on you to the queen, but guess what? Whenever that f pawn moves away, then the black queen can say eyes on you too.
That's true. It's a two people thing, right? They both threatening each other.
That's right.
Oh.
Okay, so right now bishop d4 is coming.
I
guess, I don't know, queen e3 maybe coming next.
Sorry. It's just me, Paul. But once again, I would almost. I know black is on the attack, but I would almost do this.
Yes, that's the first move I would be thinking too, because once you're ahead, you should simplify, right?
Right.
And the piece that you want to make to take it off the board right now the most is the queens.
That's right. The black king is exposed, right? Kinda.
The black king is exposed, and if there is going to be any white piece that can create a mess on the board, it's going to be the white queen.
That's right. Let's see how things went after that. So there was a check. Sorry, let's come back to the check. There was a check. The king moved, and the queen fell back. Oops, sorry. Oh, it's over. It's over. What happened? 0-1.
Black just resigned. Sorry, white just resigned.
Oh, I would have played a bit.
Yeah, me too. I would have played a bit. Like queen f5, trying to hope for some luck with some potential check, or like queen c8 is a threat already, giving a check and winning the b7 pawn, something like that. That may be the way that I would do.
I agree.
So,
I mean, black is definitely doing better, but the king is exposed. I think white still has a shot at scaring him at least.
that's right. It's not somewhat like you're 100% lost. I mean, I agree that if black plays best from here, he's winning. But don't forget, we're humans and we can make mistakes.
I gotta tell you, Paul, this kind of endgames where I'm a couple pawns ahead and the queens are on the board and my king is exposed is my absolute nightmare. I wake up during the night covered of sweat, thinking, no, I was 2 pawns ahead, and then I got a skewer or no. So it's really. I mean, I would definitely, if I was on the losing end, I would be very relaxed, thinking I'm gonna lose anyway, and then just go full on like check, trying to fork or.
That's right. You have nothing to lose here. If you are lucky, you'll be awarded a professorship. So.
Yeah, or even, who knows, right? Even a victory with the time control and everything. But that's just at my level, maybe. So.
All right. So looks like Mr. Railgun has transformed the position a little bit into 2 bishops against a bishop and a knight. And don't forget, we were talking about the buried bishop on c8, right? And this piece is still being buried on e8 right there. So white is really having a good game right here, and with the fact that he is having 2 bishops right there, bishop is a long range piece. So what he's trying to do, or he would love to do, is to open up the position, but not in this way, because this will allow himself in an opposite color bishop, and I guess this is going to be a draw.
Well, a draw is still, it's not a victory, but he stopped the streak, right? So.
Yeah. This guy is not meant to win the tournament, just to stop the streak.
That's right.
The curse is still there. All right, he has to try again harder next month after all.
Yeah. I mean, it's great feat anyway, right? To stop people who just keep on winning. But let's not jump ahead too fast. I agree with you. A different color bishop is most often draw, but a lot of factors can play, right? The activity of the king.
Yeah.
It's really often draw, though.
But I think it's very easy to cover all the weaknesses.
Yeah.
Like white's weaknesses, or the pawns on b3 and b5, b4. But I don't think the pawn on b4 is somewhat something that you can get anyway. Nobody can go and get there. So the only weakness is actually the g3 pawn, and you have to keep an eye on any kind of black's pawn break with b4. But the pawn is not going anywhere, and yeah, I think he's constructing the defense already.
I think Mr. Railgun is basically showing that this is a draw, but I like how I respect. Okay, that was ended up in a draw, but I respect how Alikane was trying to, go left and right to test a little bit Mr. Railgun. I think the psychological factor or testing your opponent in chess is not bad manner at all. It's like, it's kind of like, you gotta prove to me that you can earn this draw, right? And he did prove it.
And rating-wise and tournament standing-wise, Alikane is a better player than Mr. Railgun, so he has all the rights in the world to try to push for a win.
That's right. That's right.
Alright, so that leaves only 1 game left in the open group, but the beginner is on his way to the last round and last game already, so we should jump over there before we can lose the chance forever to look at that
Let's look at the ranking first.
Oh yeah, right. So Rista Bliss is already the winner with 7 points out of 7 full points. Congratulations to him. I've been looking forward to see him playing in the Open next for sure. And Rai Rai is also secured the second place, right, with 5.5 points. At best, Ace and BKK can fight for third. If she wins this game right now, she'll be 4.5 points, and who's gonna have the better tie break between her and Simi Hpot? I don't know about that.
I have no idea.
Yeah. So the remaining game over here is speaking fight for the third place.
That's true.
Yeah. So let's take a look about this one right away. All right. So G is 1 point up.
1 pawn and 1 knight on the.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, you have the count on the right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. 1 pawn and 1 knight. That's right. Sorry, I'm commentating for Happy Pawn, so I count only the pawn.
Mistake.
Look over there. I think she's returning the knight, right?
Yeah,
Because
she's.
the queen is underplayed right there, and white can safely capture the knight.
He did not. And now the knight is hanging.
Oh, now that becomes 2 knights up. So that's a way to win the knight.
Can I just kick in here and just give another very precious advice for beginners, because that's what I'm good at, saying advice for beginners. That's what I'm competent at. Material over everything. I know later on you can break this rule in many equations if you got a checkmate, but when you start chess, you can't leave your piece hanging, and you can't miss capturing hanging pieces. These are super important when you start chess, and once you get better, you can find the ways to break these rules. But material is definitely what's going to bring you to good results in tournament at your first tournaments, especially in the beginner one.
Yeah. Well said.
Thank
This
you.
one is a little bit more. Oh, you were talking about white left his knight hanging, right?
I mean, both players here, right?
Yeah, but on black's case, by capturing on e4 is a little bit more tricky.
That's true.
Because it involves with the pin over there. So by she missing that is a little bit forgiven. But
That's true.
But with leaving the white knight on g5 is
It's dramatic.
Yeah. Right. So all right. So now she is having all the reasons to be happy.
That's true.
2 knights up, 2 pass pawns up. Well, I have to say 2 pass connected pawns up.
That's a lot to deal with.
to make it the best out of the best. And okay, rook e3 was played also in the game.
Sorry.
And let's see how. Oh, queen b4. Yeah, now she's trying to simplify it. She's taking your advice, but this have a one small backward. You were talking about leaving the pieces hanging, and there you go. Oh, looks like she has returned the Christmas present after all.
You know, we're seeing the glass half empty, but let's see the glass half full for a second. They see those captures at times. For example, AC in BKK saw the knight hanging, and here Mendy R saw this knight hanging. So if you do this more, you automatically get better. So like if you can,
Yeah.
like it's definitely possible, right? They see it. So
That's right.
yeah.
But I understand the players too, because by seeing the pieces hanging and capture it, it's not the same thing with seeing that you will leave your pieces hanging.
Yeah,
By seeing that you will leave your pieces undefended is one type of defending your position. It's a defending theme of chess. But by capturing something, it's an attacking theme. So these two are not using the same logic. Like right here, she is dropping the pawn d5. It's also not so easy to spot that. And but white is not interested in taking that too. White wants to trade rooks.
I think.
He wants to go for attack, I guess.
Yeah, I think I can tell you what's going on in his head here. It's my student, so I know pretty well. He sees a back rank mate, but the problem is that AC in BKK knows that she can avoid back rank mate by pushing this pawn. By the way, very important advice for you listeners out there who start chess. back rank mate is basically when the 3 pawns are creating a barrier to your king, the rooks come all the way there and all the way here, and then you're checkmated. But AC and BKK knew better and pushed that pawn before so that the king would have an escape route.
Right. So that's one way to secure the breathing air for your own king. That's right.
Yes, and
Yeah. All right. So okay, the pawn has finally left the board, the d5 pawn, I mean, and right now maybe white has to be a little bit concerned with queen f5 check, although it's not going, is nothing going on right now because pawn to g6 and the knight is protecting f7 pawn very nicely, but it's one kind of a potential. So that's something you should really be careful.
maybe white could even trigger this kind of I mean, I know white is also under heavy fire, right, with the queen, the rook, but if you get a chance,
h4 might be even better.
oh yeah, you're right,
Weaken your king.
you're right,
That's right.
pawn to h4.
Okay, so now she goes to c6. She's asking the queen to move away from that diagonal so she can push the c4 pawn. I think she sees that if she pushes the c4 pawn, she will leave her undefended right now. So that's why.
Wow,
why c6.
that's very advanced. I'm impressed. If she did think that, that's Paul's level right now.
Right. But now you can see the queen can go to e5 or f6. And right now she is closing a rook h8 with h8 checkmate. So this can be a big turnaround. I don't know how to defend this.
Me neither. I don't. It's terrible. It's terrible. Wait, you gotta go for checks. Wait, the rook is guarding it, so check here.
So the only check you
Alright,
see,
check.
okay, maybe that one, trying to bait the queen to take it so you can play
Oh.
pawn to c3 and shut down the diagonal.
Oh, yeah.
But the king can calmly walk up to h2 and say, where's your check?
Oh my god.
And there you go, because the queen and the rook are doing nicely guarding the d6 and d8 squares. There's no more check. Okay, yeah, right, knight f3. There you go. But now you can capture with the pawn. I don't quite see the follow-up here. Oh my god, this is not going to good news. And 2 seconds for ACBKK. She's gonna lose on time. And oh my god, there she goes. She is so close of reaching the 3rd place, but wow, that was a very dramatic end, by the way. And the final rankings are up there, and CB Happy Pawn, you you can now breathe in very deeply and relax and enjoy your 3rd place right there. While ACBKK, I'm sorry for you, that is 4th place, but hey, you are the best on tiebreak after all.
That's true, and a great performance again by Ritz the Blitz, who topped this tournament. I would recommend again probably to jump up to the open one just for a more challenging experience, but definitely a beautiful performance with 7 victories.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, so the open has finished already, and do you still want to talk more about anybody in the ranking list before we?
No. Let's go to the open.
All right, more actions are going on over there right now. So
For sure.
and I think Alec Hein over there looks like he's having a very nice attack on the f3 pawn. Bishop takes f3 is a threat, or you can do it in a fancier way with queen takes f3. Because whatever happens, then something will recapture on f3, and that's gonna keep a checkmate.
That's true. How do you defend that? King? Here?
Wow, yeah, king. That's.
But that doesn't look very strong. I mean,
Okay, that's how you do it. But bishop takes f3 is coming,
And-
and I think e2 is good.
rook e2, yeah. Oh, sorry, rook e2 here, or I don't know, or queen e5.
Yeah, queen e5 and bishop.
Oh yeah,
Or is the only way to save the king for one more move.
it's all over.
Be a checkmate still.
Alekine, the new RVK. Someone take them down.
Right. So So these kind of champion gene has passed on from generations to generation.
It looks like it, but I'm, I'm thinking maybe we should set up some kind of spy, all their openings,
Oh
study
yeah,
them, and just create a study group and and take them down. Well done, well done.
and by the way, I think Happy Pond Alexander is crying a little bit with his game against Mr. Railgun. He's crying in the chat saying, "Oh, what am I doing?" And then Mr. Railgun replies, "I'm not sure too. Just take a look what happened there." Okay, so it seems like
It seems okay
Happy
though.
Pond Alexander is 1 pawn up actually.
I can't. I think they have the same amount. I think you're missing a part of the
Oh yeah,
screen.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. He's having the same. Okay, but not anymore. Now he's 1 point up. But is he getting his own knight trap after creating the roots and then black plays b8?
I guess the knight can still. Oh, rook b8.
Yes, with the idea rook b7 next.
Oh my god. Does that work? It does.
It looks like right.
Yeah, there's no much. There's no much.
There
Oh
you go,
well,
and that happened.
a4 maybe? No.
a4, he gets the
Yeah,
pawn,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then you go back home.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's
Okay,
terrible.
a4 can be the way to save. After bishop takes a4, then b3.
Oh
Gain
yeah.
some time, and then you will get c4 next.
Oh my
And
god.
is going to put it create through that lines. I think now Alexandra has a valid point to claim again. What am I doing?
It looks so much effort and sacrifice for the knight to go like a4,
Yeah,
b3, c4.
but
He does it.
but come to think about this, even you see that the knight is not trapped, but the knight has to ended up his journey from there, all the way at the edge of the world. Why am I not gonna go for it?
Yeah.
Everything is happening in what we're talking about. Right? The rook will gonna take on b3 and penetrates the whole position right here.
Yeah. I mean, those guys are good, so they know.
Yeah. But once the rook captures on b3, then black would be the one to be 1 pawn up instead.
That's right. That's right. That was a very, very poisoned looking delicious but poisoned pawn over there in a7.
Yeah, that's right. So we have a new theory of poison pawn after all. Most of the time the poison pawn will be on b7, but this time it seems like it's a7 pawn.
Can I ask, is the knight really saving himself? Like, okay, here you play knight b5, right? You gotta get out.
Yeah,
But
that
then,
can be one way, but then you're gonna give up another pawn. Okay, that's another way to save yourself.
are you sure?
No, I'm not sure. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Wait. Oh my god.
Take the fork.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. Fork is met by fork. Wow, this is. I'm so speechless right now.
Me too.
It's an amazing game.
It was.
By both players. Yeah.
It's so funny, when you calculate like 2-3 moves, you're like, that's it. I'm victorious here. And then you reach the third move, and the guy just calculated one move extra. He's like, nope.
And guess what? Mr. Railgun said, "Hey, I'm having just 11 seconds, but I can calculate deeper than you."
He's the great chook. He's Mr. Rail Chook.
Mr. Railgun.
Yes.
I like that.
All right.
Okay. All right. We're down to the final game of this round, of the penultimate round here, between Luis and your dad.
He's doing great against Luis, but it looks like he's running into trouble actually as I say that. There's some kind of fork here coming up. Can we just move the rook and hope for the best? But I don't know. The white pieces look very active.
Yeah, I agree with you that white can capture the bishop right there, and then the pawn on d5 is gonna be gone. And but I have a feeling that the ending with 1 pawn down here for black is holdable. So that's why white didn't go for it, because I think he wanted to win, and I think
Black is doing okay actually.
yeah, that's right. But I would be thinking of something like, probably doesn't work, but something like rook f5 and try to try to go aggressive on the F2 pawn. But I don't think that's gonna work. I think it's just a 3-1 check or 2.
How about going to the 7th rank?
Yeah, but now the rook goes to the 7th rank, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of pressure over there. Could even bring the rook, the queen there after.
Oh, that's a fancy way to defend the rook.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
also bad because you don't want to move the rook so much because you're inviting the white queen to come to your king.
Yeah.
I think that is black's idea. So,
You're right.
Okay, but right
Can't
now,
you just hide over there eventually? I mean, you go up and then there.
Yeah, with rook e4, I think you can, because that will cover queen f4 check.
Right.
Where the king is under.
Queen f4.
So I think that one is quite pretty good. Now, what the? Wow. Wow. Okay, everything is going fine. Nobody is dropping any piece just yet. And okay, but seems like c2 pawn is real right now.
Sorry, again?
The c2 pawn is really gonna drop.
Yeah, looks like, right?
Yeah,
I'm
but same for the d4 pawn. Okay,
everything looks dangerous here. Well, I would. This is dangerous, right? If he leaves the back rank here and then a follow-up check here.
Yeah, you're right. And okay, well, now comes your advice to the beginners, right? Last one has to be pushed.
I'm so proud of my dad right now.
You have all the reasons to be proud of him. He's doing very great right there. Everything is secure. Okay. Do you think your dad is gonna defend the b5 pawn, or just don't care and keep on pushing d2? D2 is a good move too, by the way.
Well,
because if you
the
cannot touch the b5 pawn, right?
right, but there would be two attacks. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
No problem.
What am I talking about? Okay, alright. But now queen f4, maybe?
Probably, I guess, just to try and soften this king a bit.
Ooh, okay.
Rook behind the. Is it dangerous? Is it very dangerous?
Yeah, right. You're leaving that diagonal, and
Uh-oh. It's not looking good.
But I think white for the wrong diagonal. By the way, I think he had to go to queen f8, as what you say, because the queen on c1 right now is covering g5. G4, I mean.
Yeah.
Ooh, and there goes the exchange. I think white is very, very good right now. I don't believe that there
You
will
mean
be a turn.
you mean black? You mean black, right? Not white.
Sorry,
Yeah.
black. That's right. And and b4 will be coming.
Before, yeah, it's one or the other. It's like you go left, I go right. You go right, I go left.
That's right. You can choose left or right. I'll go the other way.
Yeah.
That's something like that. Okay. And Luis, by the way, is doing very short right now. He's living on the implement right now. Okay. Okay. This guy is stopping everything.
Come on, Dad.
C3. That's a good move. That's a good move.
Yeah,
By the way.
to guard the
He's
pawn,
defending
right?
the pawn.
Yeah.
He's preparing b3. Yeah, but is this push a little bit too early? B8? Oh no. Who cares about that? Just go for the queen.
You mean here, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Or here?
Or d2. I think both are good.
5 seconds.
Let's go. Wow, he's listening to us actually.
I can tell you, my dad is sweating right now. He's not a Greek chook.
He's nervous.
Ah!
Wow. I was thinking of d2 actually, but I think this one is good too.
Oh my God! Well, how?
d2 now can be still be played.
And so funny how this bishop is hanging for like 10 moves and like we don't care anymore.
b7 is probably the last try with the idea g5.
Checkmate!
And
Oh no!
yeah, right.
Wait, where is there checkmate? Wait,
No, don't go for that.
wait, it's oh yeah, it's checkmate. It's dead. Oh no,
Wow.
Dad, you
Oh my god.
you fought bravely.
Right at the moment when I was saying there would be no turnaround, it seems like we are jinxing with the players.
Dad, if you're listening, I'm proud of you. You fought bravely. We are.
Remember you as a brave fighter.
Yes, we are jinxing it.
The final round has started. Okay, the final round has started. Alekine seems like to be playing against Rafa, who's
Well, this is what happened when you don't have a lot of players, right? I mean, eventually, the last rounds, you get a match the first one with someone, so.
You cannot get the same opponent after all, and it seems like Alekhine has gotten all of the higher opponents.
That's
So
true.
that's why it fell to Rafa, and the game is going into the Italian game.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Afare plays the Italian no matter what. You can be playing H4, D4, A4. He's going for the Italian. So that's his opening. So
All right, and this is the setup I like the most when playing white in the Italian, with the pawn on C3, not the knight, because the knight will later go to D2 and F1 and then G3. And
nice.
then slowly, you were gonna support the D4 push, and with the pawn on C3, that is limiting the black's knight on C6 too, and plus is supporting the push with D4 and the right movement. So the main concept of this opening is that white will try to get D4 and black will try to get D5. Whoever achieves their push without breaking their position first is usually going to get the upper hand.
Guys, I'm getting a free chess lesson right there. I had no idea about these things. Thank you, Paul. Very interesting.
Yeah, and you can see that black is getting D5 right there. But after recapture, whatever capture is, I think I'm a little concerned about white pushing on D4 right now, and the queen on E7 is underpinned. So
That's true.
okay, Alekhine didn't go for that.
D4 looked strong. Hey,
But right now I think he's turning the initiative over because black can play E4 right now, and I think black is staying fine here.
interesting. E4. But don't you like open the weaken the E file while your queen is in front of the white rook?
Yeah, right. Okay, so maybe another plan that is good enough too. Maybe queen D6 and keep, highlighting the weakness of D3 right away.
Interesting.
E8. That's what happened in the game, by the way.
But I
I
think
think that may.
white is gonna double over there, right? Bishop takes.
I would definitely take and put the knight on G3. Because
Oh,
once the structure is like that and the knight's on G3, it's dominating the whole king side.
that's right.
I was trained to it too. Yeah.
That's
and
right.
force the pawn structure to be like that. Yeah. And
Wow.
everything is happening by the way. If the knight goes to E7 trying to stop knight F5, then there is knight E4 in front of the bishop and the pawn F6.
Oh my god. This is brutal.
Ooh. Okay.
This is brutal.
Yeah.
It's falling apart for poor Afare. Well, he's playing the world champion. How many times world champion, Alekhine? 4, 5 times?
Two.
2? Okay, sorry.
No, sorry. I think 4 or 5 times. What I mean, what I know was he was the world champion in 1927 after he taken over from Capablanca,
Yeah.
and he lost the world title in 1935 to Max Ube, but he regained it again from the same guy in 1937.
Well, this is the
And
guy.
and there he remained his world champion title until his death in 1946.
So, that says a lot about the kind of guy Afare is fighting right now, right?
Yeah, right.
So, props to him.
Well, R5A is actually fighting, by the way. He has managed to double the rooks on the GM5. Bishop takes E3 is a threat right now. Okay, I think, and I think H5 is coming.
I can tell you one thing. Afare does not resign. He will fight. He will go down fighting, and that's a very good thing.
Until he gets checkmated.
Yeah.
I think this is the type of the position that he likes. He likes tactics, and he will know what to do when it comes technically. So when he gets the rooks doubled on the file right here, you think he would know? Ooh, wow! That is fancy, by the way.
It's fancy, but why? Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, fancy, but why?
Yeah.
Well, at least the Chess Hall of Fame is going to award him for the creativity over there.
I agree.
Okay, alright, so he's switching his rook over to the queen side, I guess. That's maybe
Oh,
the
sorry.
plan that he's doing.
Right, but
Otherwise, I cannot think of a plan. Oh, that's what he's doing. He's turning his rooks into pawns.
yes.
Sorry.
And eventually promote them. No, that was a good one. And eventually promote them.
I guess he can just ignore all that and do nothing.
That's
Just
right.
touch the pawns.
Yeah, because it's guarded by pawns, so in a way it's heavily guarded, even if it's attacked 3 times. So here there are two concepts that are important. You have to count attack and defense to know if something can be captured. For example, here we can count 1, 2, 3 attacks and only 2 defenses, so it looks like attack is winning. But there is a very important factor, which is the quality of the pieces attacking, and we can see that it would be a mistake for half array to capture. Well, actually no, as the king was pinned, but okay, as the king is not pinned. Anyway, the point is, as it's guarded by a pawn, you cannot be giving away a rook for 2 pawns in general.
That's right. So okay, so white is 1 pawn up right now, but he still have to convert it. That's a matter of technique. But right now, I think I'm seeing there is one game that is having the nicest pawn structure in the tournament, as we can see right now. It's actually your dad's game.
Make me proud, Dad. Make me proud.
Yeah, and look at how he sets up his.
It's like they are doing it on purpose.
Yeah, all right, but he is 1 pawn up, by the way. So okay, but he is having a more passive pieces. He's having a passive king compared to whites and passive rook compared to whites as well. But a pass pawn is going down to the board real fast over there. So that is something. Yeah, and you can see that white has to forget about trying to win some pawns on the queen side and have to start thinking about stopping the pawn over here.
Can he though?
So
Like what if you just push right away?
well, if you push, then maybe e8, right, and then e5 would be your pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Or starting rook e5, yeah, either way.
but I like to start over here. The only problem of starting this way is
King here.
yeah, that's the problem. Okay, I was about to say that it allows king e4 and king e3.
Yeah.
But that should need.
Sorry. I mean, white game plan is easy, right? The king has to somewhat get in front of the pawn, and the rook has to be harassing from behind. But will that be enough? I'm not sure. I'm not
Right,
sure.
right now I won't. Right now I won't care about the pawn's b5. Just keep pushing. Because
Yeah.
it seems like there's no way to stop that pawn.
That's right. That's right.
It looks unstoppable. And this is how your dad is going to get full 1-1.
That's right. If king here, you can fall back, or you can even keep pushing. Well, that's risky, but
If you want to be fancy, yeah, that's right. That's not the wrong thing.
yeah.
But you can just fall back to keep the roots on the board. Why not? A little bit more flexibility.
Yeah. It's
You don't want something to go down and then all the pawns all of a sudden leave the board, and then you have to squeezing the queen against rook ending. It's not gonna happen.
yeah. Has it ever happened to you? You make a calculation, and then you have the safe option, the crazy option, and you're like, yeah.
Okay. During the calculation, as one of the options, yes, but it never happened in the game for real.
I see.
And I think I am quite pretty lucky with that, because I will be sweating no matter which side I pick, the queen or the rook.
I think you play without worries when you're already losing. You can go for the crazy variation. You're like, well, whatever. But if you're winning against a stronger rated opponent for the last game win of the tournament, you're like, should I sacrifice my queen right there?
That's a good point, by the way, that I normally don't care much when I'm losing, so I'm more or less stress free.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think we have one more game to look at that I think is going to put us to sleep, which is the game of Louis against VG22.
Let's see that.
Well, I was but if you go back for about five minutes ago, before white loses the pawn, then you can see that this position is gonna take forever.
Yeah, they are dancing around, right? Left and right, but here, yeah, the pawn got down, so I guess now.
Well, the problem of move number 36 right there is white could have gone king g3 instead of king g2.
Yeah, so not this move.
And he's still going to defend the pawn.
So back to what we were saying, right? You have to counterattack and defense, and here clearly you have like 2 attacks and only 1 defense, and here the quality of the pieces is about the same. So King G2 was either a mouse sleep or yeah.
I think it, or it's not bad too to capture on H5 yourself and unbalance the pawn structure because if you're playing with the bishop against knight, bishop is a long range piece and he can do a good job covering left and right at the far end at the same time. So you would like to imbalance the pawn structure while the knight wants to keep the pawn structure balanced to make it on the same file. So that's not gonna be so bad.
That's true. Let's see what happened later.
But black is getting the best case scenario right now. He's winning a pawn. So nothing much to
I'm
even thinking about the G3
wow.
E3 pawn. And there we go, it happens.
Wow.
So, yeah. Pick up E3. Yep.
Yeah.
The knight will goes to what? The king will penetrate actually. Once the bishop is forced to defend on E1.
That's super cool.
Yes.
Hey, great! Oh, it's Louis. Okay, I was thinking what a great display, but now I'm not surprised.
Right. So yeah. So I think this game is not gonna put up to sleep anymore.
No, and it's probably a wrap
Yeah. Right.
night here.
I think black will win this. So
I agree. The king is too active. The king is too active.
that's right. So let's go to other games. Alekhine already won. So he is the champion at 6.5 points right there. Alex has won his game too. So currently he is at the second place with 5 points. But Mr. Railgun, he is 4.5 and he still has his game going on. So if he can win this game, then he is gonna overtake Alex on the second place, and he has done it. So congratulations to Mr. Railgun for being the second place and for stopping the streak. The only guy to cut the streak in this tournament. He again.
I have a question for you, Paul. If Alekhine 31 and RVK were to face, would it be possible that they both win the game? Because theoretically they cannot lose, right? So probably a draw, actually. Probably a draw.
I think it's going to be interesting to see that fight actually because I have a feeling that both of them are good players.
Yes, me too.
To my feeling.
And by the way, that was a bad joke. I don't really believe 2 players can win the same chess game when facing each other. It's just, I'm still to see them lose, and I would like to see that. Draw is already a feat, apparently.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this game is heading in the winning pawn ending for black actually. Yeah. I think this is going to be a very easy technique, but well, unfortunately, this is actually the most interesting game we have left in the tournament.
But it's probably a wrap anyway. Right. But it's probably a wrap, yeah.
So we're gonna watch this until the end. Of course, the simplest plan for black here is just to collect all the pawns. And yeah, there you go. The e5 pawn will go next. Not maybe go away next.
The graveyard. Oh, he went for b4 just to contradict you.
Okay, right. He just wants to upset me.
Yes.
Fine with that.
That's his stream sniping right now, and whatever you say, he is not gonna play. So
Right.
maybe you can trick him into a stalemate.
Great. Okay. I was about to say that you're gonna pick up e5, but he doesn't. And a5 goes next. Come on.
Let's see.
This time.
No.
No.
Nope.
You know, if we're having a tournament on chess.com, there is one feature that says guess the move.
Oh, interesting.
If you have ever tried that, it's like while you are watching someone's game, that you can make a move on the board along, and there will be some counting for the scores out. And okay, this is the best. Guess the move. Something like that.
What if they are in running out of time?
No, it's nothing. It's just a mini game from the
Ah,
viewer's side.
I understand, but it might get difficult if both players are playing very fast to guess the move before they play, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's, sorry, I'm going into details.
Well, it's just guessing the move one by one. So if you miss one move, then it's fine. You can still guess another move.
I see, I see.
Yeah. All right. So the tournament has finally ended. Seb, you can take the job and read out the winners.
Thank you very much. So, winner, Alekine 31, congratulations. All joke aside, great performance, 6.5. Mr. Railgun, who take the second spot. I think it's his best performance, or equaled his best performance. He used to be third a lot, but maybe he finished second sometimes. So great performance as well, and of course the other Hpot teacher, Hpot Alexander, great performance as well. 2 defeats, probably stuff that he's not gonna lose sleep over. But yeah, he'll eventually recover and come back stronger. And thank you very much for everyone entering it. We're gonna close the streaming now, as we all have very busy schedule. But thank you very much. Thank you, Paul, for joining and for this amazing commentary. I hope the audio problems won't be too bad. I'll try to fix that for next time. And yeah, thanks to the viewers as well.
Thank you so much for paying attention into our streaming, and thank you to you, Sam. It's very fun and a great pleasure commentating with you. And see you later. Till
Yeah.
next time, guys.
Yeah, shared feeling. Thank you very much, Paul. See you guys.